Alberta is about to become the first province to put your citizenship status on your driver's license. CBC's Anne-Marie Trickey joins us from Calgary with a closer look at the plan. And Anne-Marie, why is the provincial government doing this?
So the main reason, according to the Premier, is really for access to provincial services. So we want to streamline access to student aid, for example, or disability benefits for Albertans, saying that having the citizen status on ID cards, but also on driver's license, is going to help Albertans have fewer identification to show. The Premier also saying that it's important to help actually battle election fraud, so helping to show citizenship and be able to vote in elections, so really streamlining the process. Now, Ian, other provinces have considered this before in the past, thinking about Ontario, Manitoba, BC, but it was never mandatory. It was always optional. Here, what we're talking about as of late 2026 is going to be a mandatory, really, citizenship marker. So for Canadian citizens, we're going to see CAN or CAN on driver's licenses and ID cards. And if you're not a Canadian citizen, there won't be that marker. Here's Danielle Smith, who was making the announcement of this earlier today.
This simple addition will have a profound impact on how Albertans interact with their government and their communities. Why are we doing this? Because we believe in making things better, faster, and more convenient for everyone. By including citizenship information on these cards, we're streamlining access to vital services, whether it's applying for student aid, accessing health benefits, or supporting those with disabilities. No longer will Albertans need to carry multiple documents or face unnecessary hurdles.
Important to note, Ian, also that healthcare numbers are actually going to be on these driver's licenses and these identification cards. And the Premier adds that this is actually to help security around these healthcare numbers.
So here in British Columbia, on our driver's license, we also have our healthcare number. And I got to say, it does make things easier. I went to the doctor today and I just had my driver's license with me. I can hand it to them and just need one card instead of two. But I'm still puzzled about putting citizenship status on the card. We don't seem to have a problem here with electoral fraud or, having too many documents when you have to apply for things like a student loan. So I'm kind of curious in Alberta, what's the reaction been like to this?
Right, Ian, and that's the main difference. We're talking about citizenship markers and also the fact that it's mandatory. It's not optional for Albertans. Every Albertan with a driver's license or an ID card will have to have this citizenship marker as of 2026. The opposition, the NDP, of course, reacted to this, saying that the province, the UCP, does not make it clear why this is necessary, that really this is adding bureaucracy for Albertans, adding red tape, even though the government claims to reduce bureaucracy with this initiative. Also talked to a lot of Calgarians here. Most of them who are citizens said, well, why do we need to do that, but not really worrying about it. But I talked to one person who is not a citizen who did have some questions regarding potential job opportunities in the future if an employer sees that he's not a citizen, just asking questions. And we'd also talked to a privacy lawyer who did mention that this could open the door to some discrimination. Let's listen to what he had to say.
So the concern isn't that it's accessible to people who might have a lawful legal need to know. It's that all of a sudden it's accessible to anybody who has a reason to ask you for ID. And that in and of itself is problematic. If they take a copy of your ID, they have a copy of your citizenship or your immigration status in Canada. And so when the government says, oh, well, we're doing this for convenience, well, then it should be optional.
So Ian, he also adds that it is very, very rare, in very, very rare instances that people can demand to see citizenship status. Now, we'll have to see because, of course, this is only going to be implemented in Alberta as of late 2026, so next year.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that point. So everybody who gets carded at a bar now, the person who's looking at the card can or will be able to tell whether they're a citizen or not once this comes into effect in Alberta. Anne-Marie Trickey in Calgary, thank you.